PlayStation and Kojima Productions just revealed a new trailer for Death Stranding, and it was the release date reveal trailer. I'm a college graduate, and I've studied a lot of philosophy. I studied dream interpretation and also symbology, not in school, but just as a hobby. And from this trailer, we get way more than I expected them to reveal about the meaning behind the game. So I'm going to go into that and analyze every little part of this trailer. First off, we start off with the BB baby. These are like these Bridgegate babies, and you have Mickelson, or you have his character, singing a song to the baby. It looks like he just got into a fight. Most likely the extremists in this game, who are terrorists, mentioned twice in the trailer, probably are trying to stop whatever he's doing. I think that he is bridging the gap between the spiritual world and the real world. The gap. I think that the spiritual world and the real world have been bridged from an explosion that occurred. This is obviously a post-apocalyptic game. In another trailer, they talked about the Big Bang, and there was a fourth Big Bang, or basically an explosion. It looks like it created a post-apocalyptic America, is where this game is set, and it does look like there's also ecological disasters going on because of that explosion. But I think that the explosion has opened up a rift or some kind of thing that links the spiritual world to the real world. But I'm going to go into the true meaning of what this all means. So let's get into some of the meaning of this so far. I believe that this is basically Kojima's statement kind of about America and American politics. Not to get too political in this video, but it's kind of about the demons of American history, or you have these demons that are coming back and haunting America. And you'll see this later on with Mickelson in the World War I and World War II. So it's kind of a story of redemption. The baby represents the future of America, or the future hope that Americans have. So babies usually represent the future in any kind of interpretation, and so when the main character Norman Reedus uses that baby to fuel his trip into the spiritual realm, basically it's like they're using the future, the hope of the future, or whatever you want to say, and or it could be a kind of symbolic of the future children of America, or America's future being used or being squandered. You hear a lot of environmentalists talk about how we're squandering the future for our children. So I believe that's kind of the symbol right there, that they're having to use they're spending the future, possible future, to fight a battle right now, to fight. And I do believe that Kojima sees this as a kind of like a spiritual battle that's going on. I think that he does see that there's forces at work in America, from beyond our world, spiritual forces, so to speak, that are fighting over this, using America as a battlefield, so to speak. Now, of course, Kojima has, he does infuse a lot of his games with political ideas that he has, but also just he uses them in an artistic way to express the way he feels about things. So it's not probably meant to be taken literally, but I do believe that there's some undertones going on here. Of course, you see the oil everywhere, and America has been known for oil, our oil resource, and or the wars that have been fought supposedly have been fought over resources, depending on your viewpoint. So in this title, it says that a new history has begun to connect a fractured society. So obviously it's talking about the post-apocalyptic America, how everyone is no longer there is no longer a solidified country. But I do believe this is Kojima's viewpoint of American politics right now as well, and I think that's pretty accurate. Right now, there seems to be very fragmented viewpoints going on in our society. And so I think this his viewpoint, how he mentions connection over and over in this game, and how we have to unite and we have to connect with the people around us and as a country, if we're going to quote unquote save the country from these forces of evil that are surrounding us. And I think that this is the belief of Kojima, and I think that it's a pretty positive message, and it brings a lot of weight to this trailer. So we see Norman Reedus' character carrying around the future, or the hope of America's future, in the symbol of this baby, and he's literally the hero that's carrying the future with him. And that probably relates also to how he's trying to reconnect society to save America. So his enemies are these demons, or homo demons is also a thing that he mentions, and twice is mentioned that they are terrorists and extremists. So these are people that have merged and or have sold themselves out to forces that are basically evil, so to speak. It's mentioned that Hades is also mentioned in one of the titles, and Hades is another term for hell. So you have former soldiers in world wars who have merged these demonic forces. I think what all of this means is it's signifying the historical demons that America faces. We have, historically speaking, done things, and we're trying to create a new future. But we still have to face that past, the past that we have dealt with before, and so it's basically this spiritual battle that's going on over America, kind of, so to speak, in Kojima's opinion, I believe. Okay, there was two lines in the trailer. One was those who cannot break the connection, and it said those who are bound by their connection to Hades or hell, and also, and then it shows the souls that are connected to wars of America's past, and then it says those who struggle to make a connection. So that's basically Norman Reedus. He's trying to connect those who are alive still and unite them. And then also the people that are bound, the spirits that are bound to Hades because of what they've done. And so this is basically, I believe this is, obviously Norman Reedus is the hero. So this is basically how this idea of connection and how what we are connected to binds us, or the connections that we're trying to make either empower us. So it's just another reference to unity and the things that are getting in our way to make us united. So basically the idea that there's forces beyond what we can see that are affecting our ability to make connections in our life, and also in our political atmosphere as well. So there's these forces beyond what we can see, or what seems to be apparent, that are actually playing an influence on our political situation. So this is interesting, very, very interesting idea that Kojima is bringing forward, because this is more of, I guess, Christian conservatives, or Christian believers, even any kind of spiritual believers, I guess you would say, would have kind of more of this viewpoint. So it seems very interesting Kojima is bringing this forward in this game. So Sam's character is initially pessimistic about reconnecting America, and he does mention that covering the world in cable didn't bring an end to suffering and war. So there could be some form of communication hardware that he's trying to deliver, including. So basically, Sam's character is trying to, symbolically speaking, he's trying to open the communication. He's trying to open the lines of communication, and those lines can help rebuild America. The lines of communication. But he's obviously pessimistic about this. It seems as if he's the people around him are trying to, such as the president, are trying to get him to do this still, though. So in the last clip, we see Matt Mickelson speaking to BB the baby, telling him that he'll have a whole wide world to explore. So this is another reinforcement of the idea of the baby being the future of America, the unborn children, so to speak, the people that haven't come yet into our landscape that we're creating right now. And Matt Mickelson is kind of telling him that he'll have a hopeful future. And there's a line also that says, "Tomorrow is yours." Anyways, this looks like a very cool game. It comes out in November. I'll be checking it out more. If you'd like to hear more analysis, when the full game's released, obviously there's going to be a lot more to this. They reveal a lot more of the story than I expected them to. But there'll be a lot more to this game than I would imagine. So if you'd like to hear more, please subscribe. It's Ninjaland XP. And I would be happy to do more analysis of different games if you have any recommendations. I just honestly, I need to kind of have some viewers and people to interact with. I'm thinking about doing one for The Last of Us or BioShock Infinite because those have a lot of symbology in them as well. But anyways, if you'd like to hear more, just subscribe and leave a comment. Thanks.